It's no secret that Beetlejuice was an instant Halloween icon in 1988, and with this came an animated series just a year later. This long-forgotten relic is more on the kid-friendly side, but that's not to say it wasn't a good time. Welcome to The Rewind. These are our favorite episodes of Beetlejuice, 1989 to 1991. Before we begin, make sure to give this video a like and hit that subscribe button for good luck. It's the pits.
Why is it every time we try to help Beetlejuice, he treats us like the dirt between his toes?
I think he treats the dirt better.
Beetlejuice always seemed like he would work well as a nightclub singer. In the first season's 16th episode, he does just that. Well, in a sense. By that, we mean he used his talents of being able to make farting sounds with his armpits. Lydia and the other characters like Ginger and Jacques Leline back him up as part of his band, and, of course, it all goes to his head. Beetlejuice's band name, the Rollin' Kidney Stones, is an obvious play on the Rolling Stones. As any true Hollywood story would go, the episode perfectly hits the beats of a band's rise and fall in 22 minutes or less, and does it in a comedic way thanks to the egomaniac that Beetlejuice can be.
Wow, totally titular.
To Beetle or not to Beetle?
Hey, Will, what's shaking? Oh.
Lydia is having trouble studying Shakespeare, a common predicament for teenagers, so Beetlejuice takes her to the Netherworld to aid in doing some playwriting. She meets characters like Hamlet and Lady Macbeth, who all force Lydia to write a play for them. In the meantime, Beetlejuice aids Shakespeare in his writer's block and comes up with some outlandish stories. Anyone with a general knowledge of Shakespeare will highly enjoy this episode and the puns that go along with the material.
Why are you taking me to Elsinore Castle?
So, you want to know why, do you?
Beetle Bones.
Magic is merely an amusing diversion. Oh, yeah? Well, I still have something you don't have.
Beetlejuice gets a medical physical, and the worst of the worst happens to him. His skeleton escapes from his skin and runs off without him. His skeletal structure takes on a very snooty persona and life of its own with the name Beetle Bones. It's up to Lydia to get the skin and bones reunited as a whole before they're gone for good, and Beetlejuice will never be whole again. This classic episode takes on tropes we would normally see in an adult horror comedy film and perfectly translates them into children's animation. The idea of your own skeleton removing itself from your skin is kind of graphic, but then having it take on a life of its own is kind of terrifyingly funny.
No bodies, except for yours, Liz.
Thanks, Beej. It's good to have the inner you back. In you.
Spitting image.
As for your Dweeboid Award, sayonara, sucker.
Oh, no!
In an episode written by Alan Wittert, Beetlejuice splits into two versions of himself. All of this happened because Lydia needed help on her science project. So, whatever science experiment she was working on has now taken shape as Beetlejuice morphs like amoebas into two versions of himself. It's all fun and games until the two juices begin to get competitive with one another. There are apparently a lot of goofs in this episode in terms of character traits and even typos. According to the show's wiki, the episode should be titled Splitting Image and not Spitting Image, since Beetlejuice literally splits into two versions of himself.
Because I already got the highest honor I'll ever receive.
Beetlejuice's parents.
Yes, our son showed that sandworm who's boss.
Everybody comes from somewhere, even the ghost with the most. Lydia attempts to try and further understand Beetlejuice's origins, so they go off into the Netherworld and link up with his parents. We learn that his parents, Bea and Nat, are pretty much just like a lot of our parents. They're lovable, but they're also from a different era. A standout piece of comedy is the father-son dynamic that Beetlejuice has with his dad, Nat. Like many dads, Nat is concerned with what his son does for a living. He ends up getting him a job at a neck bolt factory, which, of course, does not work out for Beetlejuice.
No wonder you're a member of the board, Pops. You need to put a little life in your work.
Laugh of the party.
Mumsy, Dadsy, I want you to meet. Huh?
Season 1 saw the release of the show's Halloween episode. In it, Lydia decides to plan a costume party to rival another party that's going on. The only issue is, it seems nobody is going to show up to hers. This brings Beetlejuice into action as his event-planning alter ego, Mr. Beetleman, who brings party decorations and even ghostly ghouls from the Netherworld to partake in the evening festivities. Lydia is dressed up as a wolf during her party when people have shown up, but prior to that, she's dressed in a pink bunny suit that she looks miserable in. This is a direct reference to A Christmas Story where Ralphie has to wear a bunny suit from his aunt for everyone to see.
Claire, your parents are here.
Oh, they're here to take me back to the party. Like Lydia must be furious.
Wizard of Ooze.
Beetlejuice!
I'm not Beetlejuice. I'm a scarecrow.
What?
From the title alone, you've probably gotten the reference. In an episode that aired late in the series run, the Wizard of Ooze sees Lydia fall asleep while reading the actual novel, The Wizard of Oz. It's here that she imagines all the people in her life and those from the Netherworld as characters in her dreamlike version of L. Frank Baum's novel. As we venture down the gray asphalt road in Lydia's dream, we encounter many different parallels to what Dorothy encounters in her dream in The Wizard of Oz.
I am Ooze, the great and terrible.
See if you can fix the color. He looks a bit green.
Midnight Scum.
Let's not resort to violence. Whatever your differences, we can arrive at an understanding through cooperation.
Wrap it up, pork pie.
Throughout the series, we encounter the vast world and personal life of Beetlejuice. We meet his parents a few times on the show, and his brother Donnie Juice in an earlier episode titled Oh Brother. In Midnight Scum, Donnie returns as a wanted man, and Beetlejuice looks to make a quick buck off collecting the bounty on his brother's head. But that is before a Netherworld bounty hunter named Dead or Alive gets to him first.
You're both consumed by greed. It's moving you to violence.
So, what's your point?
Back to School Ghoul.
Those should be your best subjects.
They are. His other grades are a G, a Q, and a Z minus.
Beetlejuice gets reprimanded for, you guessed it, harassment. He soon learns, after being under arrest by the law in the Netherworld, that he never finished school. So, he snatches up Lydia from the real world to help him get through school and pass his assessment tests so he can get back to doing what he does best, driving everyone in the Netherworld utterly crazy. Beetlejuice has Lydia help him get through kindergarten. She teaches him everything he needs to learn in order to get back on his feet. He gets her out of school in the real world by utilizing all the dandruff in his hair to create a snow day for her. And yes, you did hear that right.
I think I get the drifts.
I knew all this dandruff would come in handy someday, babes.
What makes BJ run?
You gotta get me out of here, Liz. My new boss is really cracking the whip. Sort that mail, boy!
Beetlejuice tackles the TV industry in this Season 4 episode. He has climbed his way up the ladder of the corporate world and now runs his own television network titled TNN. He sits back and cranks out TV hit after TV hit from his trusted notebook of ideas. The only thing is, that notebook was never his to begin with. Many state that What Makes BJ Run is the funniest episode of the whole series. Beetlejuice has ripped off all of his ideas for the network shows from a mailroom clerk, showing once again that even though Beetlejuice is highly cunning and likable, he's still just a demonic sleazeball straight to his core.
On one condition.
Yeah! I want a raise, I want big perks, a new office with new furniture, and 3 secretaries.
That's gonna be it, guys. Was there anything that we missed? Before you leave, don't forget to give this video a like and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Check out these other videos from The Rewind, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of our future uploads.